Hi, Facebook world. This is Gail, Tuesdays with Gail. Today I wanted to share a little bit about homestead exemptions. There has been some confusion with some emails and letters going out to some new homeowners. Some of my new homeowners have received these particular notices, so I kind of wanted to clear the air about homestead exemptions. And in addition to that, for Valentine's Day, my crepe myrtle that I have in my front yard is getting pruned. So I'm going to show you a little sneak peek. You may hear them in the background doing that, of how to properly prune a crepe myrtle. So we'll get started on a homestead exemption. First of all, homestead exemption is given to you to help you with your property taxes, preventing the county from raising them up to a point where it's ridiculous, really, how much they raise them already. So it puts a cap on how much every year the county can, raise your property taxes. So I'm going to switch the camera mode so you can see how a proper homestead exemption looks like. This is from Harris County. And if we look into the directions, it tells you, what you need to do when the deadline is. So to have a homestead exemption be valid for this year, for 2017, then you would put in here, you would have this done by April 30th, no later than April 30th. So anytime between now and April 30th, you can complete this. And so you would be safe from a huge increase in property taxes for this year. And so you just fill out the information and then you can mail it or return it to this address. I personally like to go hand deliver. It's on the 3rd floor. If you go to the Harris County Appraisal District office, it's right off of 290. It's really, with maybe some of the construction over there, it might be a little tricky to get there, but it's always best just to go and hand deliver it. I usually like to do that, but you can still just mail it over to them. And then you just fill it out. So the tax year would be for this year, 2017, date when you began living in the property, and then you fill out the other information. Name of the property owner, that would be you, your driver's license. You do need to give this information now. Before you didn't need your driver's license, now you do. So a Harris County homestead exemption is 4 pages. And so some of it's going to apply to you. So you have to really look through and see what applies and what doesn't. So, we have step 1 where you filled in your information. Step 2, you actually check the box as far as which homestead exemption you'd be applying for. Generally speaking, most people will be applying for the first one, general residence homestead exemption. That's the one you would check. There are some other ones here. Disabled person exemption, age 65 or older exemption, surviving spouse of an individual who did qualify for 65 or older, 100% disabled veteran, surviving spouse of a veteran, donated residence homestead, surviving spouse of a disabled veteran, and it goes on. Also someone who's killed in action. So you check only one of these that pertain to you. Again, most likely everyone's going to check the top box. And then the 3rd page, you have steps 4 and 5. Now, some of it may apply to you, some of it may not. So you would go and see which ones apply to you, and then which ones wouldn't. So number 4 wouldn't apply to you unless you checked previously one of the boxes before having to do with being part of military or veteran. Step 5, you have to attach a copy of your driver's license. So do remember to do that. You do need your driver's license copy with it, with this application. And then you just check the boxes that are appropriate. Number 6, step 6, you just affirm that what you're putting here, you're swearing that it's the truth. So you sign, date, and all that good stuff. And then back here is an affidavit. You do not need to do the affidavit So although the resident homestead exemption is 4 pages long, the 4th page does not apply to you if you are not 65 years or older. If you are 65 years or older, then this last page will apply to you. You get it notarized by a notary. It becomes an affidavit. But if you're just doing a general homestead exemption, you can ignore the last page, which is page 4. So this is Harris County's homestead exemption. Again, 4 pages. You fill out the first 3, attach a copy of your driver's license. If you're under 65 and you're just applying for a general homestead exemption, you can ignore the last page, page 4. Okay, so I know a lot of you are also watching from Fort Bend. So I do have Fort Bend's homestead exemption as well. Fort Bend's is about 5 pages, excuse me while I get it, long. So theirs is a little bit longer, but it's the same sort of concept. So this is Fort Bend's official. Now this comes from the Appraisal District. So Harris County has an appraisal district, Fort Bend County has an appraisal district, and it gives you pretty much the same information. General instructions, where to file, where to take the information to. Your application deadline is also April 30th. So for all the counties in Texas, it'll be April 30th. And then just like with Harris County, use the state for which you're applying for, 2017, date which you began there, living there, and then some information about you for step 1. Step 2, more information about your property that you fill out. And then step 3 is where you check what type of exemption you're needing. So again, generally speaking, you'll be doing the very top box there. And then it goes on for the application here for Fort Bend, similar to the Harris County appraisal districts. They just took a little bit more time to use up more pages. And then, of course, this affidavit, again, you do not need to do that last page, the affidavit, unless you are 65 years or older. If not, you can ignore it. Now, let me show you a little trick. These are the official ones I just went over. One for Harris County and one for Fort Bend County. So you kind of see now, generally speaking, how an official appraisal district homestead exemption looks like. Let me show you now what one of my clients received from last year. He did buy a house last year, so he got something in the mail, and it took him to a website that looks like, and the website takes you to a form that looks like this. This, although it may look official, is not official. This is, I don't want to say it's a scam, but it's definitely not something you need to do. They do charge you money to fill this out. So if you see here, they charge you anywhere from $14 to $20. It's hard to see, but maybe this will scan in or look closer here. There you go. Okay. So you have to pay the county clerk money. To do a homestead exemption, you do not have to pay anything. That is, so this is really, just a way to make money off of you, but this is not official document. When you do an official document with Harris County, Fort Bend, or whatever county you're in, it is free. You do not pay anything. So if you get anything in the mail that's asking you to make a payment, then that is not official. If anything, in this, if you read towards the bottom, it tells you this document is an advertisement of service. It's not an official document of the state of Texas. But it also says really big, you must remit $35 fee or we will not prepare your document. If you look at the tiny letter or tiny print, it does say the designation of homestead exemption. This is different from what you would do with your own, what do you call this place? Your homestead, yes. So they do say that you do need to go and eventually seek a attorney to fill this out. So when they're talking about attorney and all this stuff, This is not official. So again, be warned, if you get anything that's asking for money, that's asking for payment, that's telling you to talk to your attorney before you fill out a form, then that's a big sign that it's not official. So my client did send me this, and he was asking me, first of all, what it's about. Second of all, how to fill it out, because there were some questions he did have about filling it out. And so when I took a look at it, that's when I told him this is not the form you need to fill. I did give him a link to where he can find more information. And I did want to share this with you as well, just so you know what something unofficial looks like and what words to look for that should give you some reason to question the legitimacy of it. So if anything says anything about an attorney or paying like $35 to file something for you, then that usually means it's not legit. Here, there's no mention of attorneys. There's no mention of making payments. These are the official ones. So again, hopefully that helps you as you're making or filling these forms out. These forms are due April 30th. Again, the official forms. This form here, the unofficial form, is the deadline is tomorrow, February 15th. And so I've been getting some of these, again, from some of my clients, since the deadline is tomorrow. Again, this is not official, though. If you fill a regular homestead exemption out with your own appraisal district, so you go to your appraisal district of whatever county you're at, and you get that application or that form, that homestead exemption form, they're the ones that you go through to get all of this taken care of. So with that said, if you have any questions about homestead exemptions, if you need help spotting the real thing, like these, from the fake one, like this, just hit me up, let me know. You can always inbox me, reach out to me, and I can definitely help you determine what is an official document versus what is a fake document. It'll save you money, it'll save you time, it'll save you some aggravation, and you'll be happy to know that's what some of us are here for, to help you from aggravation. Being a homeowner can be a little tricky because people are always trying to come out for you and make some money off of you, and this is one way that they do it. So with that said, I'm going to finish off with a sneak peek at a project I'm doing here at my house. I have a crepe myrtle at my house, and I hired, his name is Antonio. He's worked at some of my clients' homes for some tree things that needed to be done. So I'm gonna show you real quick. This is my Valentine's gift. I'm getting my crepe myrtle pruned. It's usually good to do it in the late winter, early spring to prune. So it's getting pruned. He's been working for a solid hour already. We still need some work here. But this is the time to start getting your trees and some of your shrubs pruned. So we're starting right now, and this will blossom real nicely come spring. So happy Valentine's. I'm going to continue work here, and if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. If you have any questions about the homestead exemptions, if you're wanting to know how much Antonio would charge you to prune your trees or any other tree services you need, just hit me up. Let me know how I can help. Have a great day. Happy Valentine's.